The SEC is moving to a 9-game conference schedule starting in 2026, and we now know who Tennessee's 3 fixed annual opponents will be for the next 4 years, and it's pretty favorable for the Vols. Hey, Lucas Panzica here from 104.5 The Zone and A to Z Sports. So we knew that the SEC was moving to a 9-game conference schedule starting in 2026, and this is the format. Every team has 3 permanent opponents that they will play every year. The other 6 conference games will be a rotation of every other team in the SEC. This basically ensures that your team will play every other team in the conference at least once every 4 years. So, Tennessee's 3 fixed annual opponents, as reported first by Chris Lowe of On3 Sports before the SEC even got the chance to announce it, are as follows: Alabama, Vanderbilt, and the University of Kentucky. Now, the question was always about who that third opponent was going to be. Alabama and Vanderbilt were always going to be 2 out of the 3. The SEC is trying to preserve as many of its traditional rivalries as possible, and the third Saturday in October is one of the best rivalries in the SEC, as lopsided as it was for 15 years in the Nick Saban era. There is no way that the SEC was going to do away with the Tennessee-Alabama game, understanding that some rivalries were always going to fall by the wayside. Not the third Saturday in October. That was never going anywhere. And Vanderbilt, as an in-state rival for Tennessee, was always going to be tied to the Vols as one of their 3 fixed opponents. So, Alabama, Vanderbilt, and the question was, will it be Florida? Will it be South Carolina? Could it be Georgia or Kentucky to fill out that third spot? The answer is, of course, Kentucky. Now, I understand some Tennessee fans may not be happy to see the Tennessee-Florida rivalry go away. It's a rivalry that didn't really heat up until the early 90s when divisions came into play in the SEC, and Tennessee and Florida started playing each other every year. And at the time, they were 2 of the best teams in the country, let alone the SEC. Steve Spurrier versus Philip Fulmer, a very organic rivalry formed that has carried on since. Now, Florida has been on the winning side of that rivalry for most of the 21st century, and that rivalry now annually will no longer be played as consistently as it has been since 1992. But the reality is, this is the best option for Tennessee football. Kentucky is a program that right now feels dead in the water in the Mark Stoops era, and they could very well fire Mark Stoops. But we all know the Kentucky football job is a much harder job to bring back into the national picture than the Florida job. Things aren't great right now with Billy Napier and the Gators, but that's going to be an attractive position for some of the hottest head coaching candidates in all of college football if and when Billy Napier does get fired. It is better for Tennessee football to have a more manageable schedule year over year, even if it sucks to see some rivalries fall to the side. Tennessee will play Florida on occasion, just not annually the way they have been since 1992. I will say this: Tennessee has not defeated Florida in the Swamp since 2003. The Vols go to Florida in the second to last game of the regular season, and that could be Tennessee's last chance to visit Florida for quite some time, depending on how the SEC schedule shakes out over the next few years. That game looms large for the Vols to get that monkey off their back before losing Florida as an annual opponent. Tennessee's beat up on Kentucky for a lot of years. I don't expect that to change anytime soon, and I imagine Kentucky wasn't thrilled to see Tennessee on their list of 3. So it falls pretty good for the Vols. Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky will be seeing Tennessee football year over year in SEC play.